Hey everyone. So George Lucas and his wife, Mellody Hobson, were photographed by the Wall Street Journal, and the conversation was about the article was about the museum, and they took some photographs of them at the museum and kind of did an interview along the way. And I'll share some images of it on screen as we go. So the beginning of the article talks about, his plans for a museum and where it started and what the initial process was like. The article says Lucas intended to build it in San Francisco, which was near his headquarters at Skywalker Ranch. The city rejected it. His wife said, why not bring it to her hometown, which was Chicago? And that didn't also work. And then his wife, Hobson, kind of smoothed their way in LA by recruiting in LA, and they pitched the museum and it was accepted, and they broke ground in 2018. And I made a video a little while ago about George Lucas's recent comments about the museum at San Diego Comic-Con, and it's going to be opening next year. The article says, when it comes down to the details inside, Lucas is an approval committee of one. Earlier this year, the experienced museum director who'd been hired to oversee curation stepped down after Lucas opted to do the job himself. Lately, he's been picking films for the two cozy but cutting-edge theaters on the museum's ground floor. One inaugural exhibit will feature the designs of Star Wars vehicles. It's one gallery out of 33, and I did it grudgingly, Lucas says with a chuckle. I didn't want people to come to the museum and say, where's the Star Wars? 13 years after he sold that universe, has Lucas let go of his instinct to manage it? His response was, Disney took it over and they gave it their vision. That's what happens, he says. Of course I've moved past it. I mean, I've got a life. I'm building a museum. A museum is harder than making movies. As for the billion-dollar price tag often mentioned in reports about the project, Lucas says, it is close, but we haven't gotten there yet. I'm asking the question, does Lucas relish the opportunity to prove his naysayers wrong about the museum? Yes, his wife responds with a grin. No, Lucas says. Yes. No. His wife says, resistance becomes fuel for you. Lucas says, well, I'd rather not have that fuel, but it tells me one thing. You have to have the kind of personality that says, I've got an idea, and I want it to be real. So this article was nice to get. Got some more information about the beginning of how the idea started and where they are at now, kind of, with some more images. So I'm super excited for it to open next year. I don't know if I'll be there the opening day, but I'll probably make a video of me going down there when I do. And hopefully I can do it next year. So I just wanted to share the little bit of news I found. And I like seeing George happy. I like seeing him, live his life the way he wants. It seems to me that this article really confirms the notion that he's kind of done with Star Wars. He sold it, and that's that. He's kind of moved away from it because he has no control over it anymore. I think it was probably hard for him, but over the years he's really come to terms with it, and he's living his life the best way he can, and he's doing other projects that he wants to do, and I'm happy for him. The way Star Wars is going, as a fan, we're kind of in a state where there's like a good project and there's a bad project, there's a good project, but I'd say about 75% of it hasn't been that good. But I'm happy for the stuff that we have gotten, similar to what I think George would have created, like Rogue One, Solo, Andor. But I really don't want to make this a video about that. This is just some news I found about the museum, and I wanted to share it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one. May the Force be with you.